We touched upon this earlier when we looked at developing trends. Now, everyone is talking currently about agave spirits,
Yes.
which are flourishing both in and outside of global travel retail. To what extent do you see this as a long-term uptick? I mean, for example, do you think it will have greater longevity than perhaps the gin wave?
I would disagree that gin was wave. It is a product category that will continue to be there. Uh, Coming to agave spirits, I like to go under the surface and see what are the micro trends that are driving it. Agave-based spirits, primarily outside of certain pockets, geographies, were consumed in a particular way, as shots, maybe. That could be a trend that appeals to a certain demographic. A product category becomes well entrenched when it gets into the lifestyle of different consumer occasions. And I think that's a tipping point that agave spirits have arrived at. Agave spirits get talked about in terms of sipping spirits now. There is a different occasion on cocktails. They've always been present in cocktail occasions.
Yes.
So they are now capturing the cocktail occasion. They're capturing the meal occasion, after meal occasion as a spirit when you talk about mezcal. So when multiple consumer occasions are being addressed by a product category, I think then that becomes a long-term trend rather than a blip or a wave. And I do believe that that category and agave-based spirits will continue to grow and get deeper and deeper into being a bigger category.
But I guess we have to get it into perspective because it represents, less than 1%
Yes.
of the market. But I mean, it will grow. And I think resellers need to tap into that and not wait for it to get to a much higher percentage. They want to be on top of the game, ahead of the curve.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on and look at the end of your UK distribution agreement with Edgington. I mean, how do you think that's going to impact the GTR channel, if at all?
I believe positively. I will go back to what Thak said about what Suntory Global Spirits and Suntory wants to achieve. We want to keep giving our consumers deep experiences. And when you have control over domestic distribution and route to market and travel retail, then we would be able to actually tap into the consumer path to purchase, the entire journey, and really bring our brands to life or give them experiences across the board. So it's more about having more control on what kind of experiences we want to do. And if we can bring those together,
you can nurture your culture better.
Exactly. We can nurture our culture better, we can nurture our brands and how they show up, what value they add to a consumer far better across the entire journey rather than just one touch point.
Okay.
So I think it's positive for the company, but I think even from a consumer standpoint, what we want to achieve, this will only help travel retail.
Again, you've talked about this slightly earlier in this conversation, but do you think that you are agile enough as a business to deal with the increasingly discerning passengers that are traveling and with the rapidly changing geographical shifts in product preferences?
Are we agile as a company? As in, that is something that we constantly hold ourselves accountable to. Yes, we are agile as a company. Can we do better? Absolutely. There's never going to be an end state to that. Go back to the Japanese Kaizen mentality, right? It has to be continuous improvement. We have to keep looking at ourselves and say, can we do this a little bit better? And keep going on that journey. But are we agile? Yes, we pride ourselves on Gemba. We pride ourselves in trying to understand the consumer better, even internally, understanding our customers better, our employees better. Because all of those touch points give us enough indication of where we should be moving, what should be our steer, where we can get better. So I think we are agile, but we can constantly get better. Data, digital, use of digital and data. And again, digital sometimes as a word is much abused or much used.
Overused.
Yes. Yeah. But what does the digital ecosystem mean? You think about all the trends that we hear about. Then digital influence on purchase decision, consumption decisions is growing and it's going to continue to grow. What subconsciously we take a cue from while we are watching videos or surfing through the internet, and that impacts our behavior maybe a few hours or a few days down the line, we are still learning about it. So understanding that, but then looking at the entire ecosystem and saying, you talked about it before, about are we going to shift fast as an industry? The model of brand building, the way we look at building brands in travel retail, per se, and I'll specifically focus on it, will evolve. It has to change. Experiences and theater and activations will be important, but far important is, are we touching or addressing or having a conversation with the consumer even before they've traveled, even before they've made their travel decision?
Precisely.
And continue that conversation after. Have we done that enough? No. Is the industry doing that enough? No. So that's one area we have identified that we can get better as a company. So data, digital will be a journey that will be something that we would love to accelerate.
Okay, so you just mentioned activations.
Yes.
What are the ones that you're proudest of? I know there have been many, but just highlight a couple over the last 12 months that you think the industry you should share with the industry.
I will pick a brand.
That ticked a lot of the boxes that we've just talked about.
Yes, I will pick a brand which is quite special because of the liquid. As growing up, I hadn't really tried American whiskey the way I have after stepping into the industry, and obviously as part of the Suntory family now. Maker's Mark. Now, bourbon as a category is, again, it's big in certain geographies. It's not as widespread. It's our job to do to take bourbon to a wider consumer base. We did a wood finishing series on Maker's Mark. We started with New York and Sydney. What that did was, it was a price point that we wanted to test whether consumers are going to accept that price point. Typically, bourbon plays in a price point of about $20 to about $50, $60, and that's about it. $100 price point, if we give, again, authentic innovation, will consumers pick it up? It was lapped up. The story about wood finishing series, how it impacts flavor, and it hits all the right boxes, is something that you can't find anywhere else. It is liquid innovation. It is authentic because the flavor of the liquid is different, and we brought it to life, so which was on strategy as well. I believe that activation itself ticked a lot of boxes. We were also able to ask consumers whether we can contact them again, collect data. Understand data is important to understand consumers and re-engage them, and they were willing to share data at that point. So it did tell us that bourbon as a category has a long way to go. If we bring the right innovations, consumers are willing to pay for it. And if you bring it to life with the right theater, they are also willing to say, keep talking to me again. So I would say that is a prime example of what we would like to do on all our brands.
Any others?
I would say Bowmore specifically, because there have been so many innovations that that have hit that sweet spot. I would say the Frank Whiteley series. I like to pick these up because Frank Whiteley again goes back to Isla. It takes us back to the home of Bowmore. Stories and fables from Isla were brought to life with the Frank Whiteley series. There was a partnership with an artist who's very well known, but he could bring those fables in a unique way to the spiritual or to the alcobev world. And there was a point when 70% of the purchase happened even before the product went live on shelf.
Wow.
So because there was pre-launch engagement, consumers and shoppers actually picked it up or purchased it and then went into the store and picked up their bottle. This was before. We had to, at one point, stop the online purchase so that in-store there is product available for our shoppers as well. So I would say that one example tells you again, if we do all the right things, the conversation starts ahead. The innovation was the right one. It went back to the authentic, the provenance, the home of the brand. And these are authentic stories brought to life. People want to engage. Consumers want to engage in that conversation, and they're willing to travel and pick that product up. So I would say that ticked a lot of boxes for us and gave us a lot of learning of what we should be doing better, what we should be doing consistently well.
So, what's in store for travel retail over the next 6 months?
Over the next 6 months, first and foremost, we will continue to bring Koge to life. The storytelling on Koge is incredibly important because it's not just product, a GTR exclusive product. It's also a unique moment for us. It's a statement from the company that travel retail as a channel is incredibly important for our brands. No other business in our Suntory world has exclusives outside of Japan on Japanese whiskey, so it's a momentous occasion on that. But we are also partnering with a kimono house, and so bringing the Japanese traditional arts to life is one of the ambitions of this range, and we're going to kind of continuously, after every 2 years, we'll change it to a different art form. So bringing this to life will be number one. We do have other innovations coming up in the Japanese whiskey space, which we will be launching soon. You would see an expression on one of our most famous brand, Japanese whiskey brand. It will be the oldest on that particular brand. So that would happen in the next 6 months. We are launching the new range of Bowmore. So we are doing a complete revamp of the Bowmore core range, moving from the 10, 15, 18 age statements to the 14, 16, 19, 22, and with a wine cask finish series.
Nice.
I think moving away to a very completely different style of whiskey and expressions, we are excited of how consumers will react and accept that. So Japanese whiskies, Bowmore. On Maker's Mark, we will continue to do innovation, but Lafroig, I think we will have some very, very cool and exciting expressions on Lafroig on the age statements and higher age statements that we would be offering to our consumers.
We'll catch up with that in Cannes.
Yes.
Now, let's go to an important, an increasingly important subject, sustainability. It's important to both the business and to consumers. I mean, following a recent message from Sarah Langley, how can the GTR team increase its focus on social sustainability?
I like the word that you use, social sustainability. What do you really mean by social sustainability?
Okay, I'm thinking here especially about how the brands can bring values around inclusion, particularly regarding women, the LGBTQ plus community, to countries like Saudi Arabia, as they become increasingly important to the channel.
I will take this question as a company first. It's quite apt that we are actually sitting in a proof positive room. So we have a proof positive agenda. What that means is we want to have a positive impact on every touch point, on our consumers, on our customers, and the communities that we operate in. It is absolutely integral to us as a company. It's in our DNA. It is in our core. And there are different tenets to it. As part of Proof Positive, sustainability and commitment to nature. So we talk about deep experiences. We will always try to bring deep products, good products, great products, and deep experiences, but in harmony with nature. And for that purpose alone, if you look at, we have 2 B Corp certified brands. Maker's Mark is a B Corp certified brand, so is Sipsmith. So that's on sustainability. We've just launched our water initiative, which is a continuation of what Suntory has been doing for decades now. And that will remain at the core of our nature positive agenda. When it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, I will start with what we do internally first. Driving awareness is absolutely important, starting the right conversation. Then we make sure that we are making a positive impact in how we operate in terms of hiring, the team composition. Are we diverse enough as a group? Once we are diverse, are we giving everybody an equitable platform where everybody feels like this is their home, this is their team, their family? Everybody has a voice, and those conversations are constantly live. In the GTR team alone, I have 4 members of my team who are global ambassadors of one or the other diversity and equity and inclusion work stream.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
That women in leadership. There is also gender, but age, inclusion on age. We don't talk about age from a DEI perspective enough. How many times we hear conversation on age? Then LGBTQ. If you think about Larios has a tie with Pride Month, and we do a lot of work in Spain with Larios on that. So we are incredibly proud of our associations. So that's why we hold ourselves to the highest standards of accountability on having a positive impact on how we show up in every touch point, in whether it is our uh, plants, whether it is in our interactions with our customers. We want to stand for everything that we believe is core to our own DNA, and we will not shy away from having the right conversation or making the right statement, even if it is with our brands, the interactions that we have internally and externally, and that we believe is the best way of having a positive impact. If we show up the right way and we continue to hold the torch, then I think we can inspire more people.
I got it. Okay, one last question, Ashish, after what is has been a fairly epic interview, almost a marathon, but eminently worthwhile. I appreciate your time. And I know
My
that
pleasure.
much of what you said here will resonate with the business community, not just from the brand's perspective, but in terms of some of the industry issues that increasingly need to be addressed. So, to wrap it up, there are three things that you actually wanted to communicate to the trade right now. What would they be?
Three things. I would say number one, we just announced a big change. We are now Suntory Global Spirits. The name itself is an indication that we want to make a bigger impact. We want to bring a different level of experience to our consumers, and we may want to make a positive impact in the community, but also in the industry. And we will continue to push the agenda when it comes to product innovation, when it comes to actually the conversations that we want to kickstart. So that that should tell us about the ambition that our company has. That's number one. Number two, we need to use data and get closer and closer to consumers. We need to use everything at our disposal in terms of digital tools, AI, to give consumers what they are really looking for rather than keep doing the same things over and over again. So I do believe innovation, getting close to our consumers and understanding data and insights will be absolutely crucial. And once we are able to get insights from that, let's execute in unison, but execute brilliantly. And execution is not just in the store, but the entire ecosystem in travel, where as soon as somebody books their ticket and is on their way to the airport, the experience at the airport, in store, and once they are at the other end of the tunnel, how quickly are they able to? Because if we keep that excitement, that allure, in travel, we will benefit as a travel retail community.
Great way to end the conversation. Ashish Gandam, thank you for your time.
Pleasure.